So I'm having problems with the Noom Vibe to be connected on the iPad. So, Janaka, Sharma, I may have to hang up on you here and then start uh, on the. Wait 1 minute. Let me try one way. So,
Okay.
hold on one second. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Janaka.
Yeah.
There we are. All set. Okay, can you see me? Okay. Hello, everybody on the Noom Vibe, on my YouTube and LinkedIn, on Instagram, and also on WhatsApp with my friends and my family. Thank you for joining me. Like I promised yesterday, we're going to talk about the topic I was really telling you about is wellness and nature. Why we are so ill was because we have been away from the nature. So I was working on that, and I wrote a book which is called Hidden Cost of Comfort. Um, the association with the nature for true wellness. That's what I was talking about. So it's important to really understand why we lost touch with nature in our daily life and how it is really affecting our wellness. You know, Um I'm going to show you some of the creature comforts that are really causing harm for us, in a slow but steady and long way, right? The foods that we eat are processed, the activity that we do most of the time, it is sedentary by habit or by force, and also we learn these habits and they become part of our daily routine, right? And we don't sleep on time or well enough. And also main thing in this information age is we don't keep our minds quiet. Right? They're always chattering, some more than other, because the way you are kind of uh, programmed yourself. Okay, so in that way I wrote this book, Hidden Cost of Comfort, returning to nature for true wellness. If that makes sense to you, then really pay attention to what I'm talking about and go from there. Okay, so as I began to understand spirituality, it was quite apparent for me that many people are away from the nature, and society has a big role in that because they promote processed food, they promote sedentary activity, they promote information overload, and they also promote working conditions that are not conducive to us to rest and sleep and reflect better. Okay? That is really know that, right? So, as I was talking about this in my book, it's more like a what's happening, Uh, so there were some 10 chapters are there, and each chapter conveys different things, and finally I give you a practical dinacharya, meaning daily lifestyle that we could really understand and put into practice. It takes a lot of self study, find out what is happening with our wellness, what is happening with our habits, and then deliberately changing them by understanding why we have come to that spot, right? So that's as simple as that. Hopefully, it will make a difference in your lifestyles and then in your wellness. That's the main thing. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we live in an age where the push of a button brings food, comfort, and distraction, right? Air conditioned rooms, they shield us from the seasons, and devices that command our attention, phone, and iPad, and all this. And then processed food replace the vibrant gifts of the soil and the sun. Yet, in the midst of this abundance of convenience, something vital is quite eroding: our wellness. See, wellness is not the absence of disease, it's a symphony of body, mind, and spirit aligned with the deeper rhythms of life. Modern comforts though seductive, often silence this symphony. They make the body soft, the mind restless, and the spirit dull. What was meant to ease our journey has slowly weakened our roots. This book I wrote is about a gentle call to return, not to cave to asceticism, but to nature's wisdom. It's an invitation to remember that our resilience grows in discomfort. Joy becomes in simplicity. And peace is found not in the formal luxury, but in inner realization. Okay, so I do go deeper into the inner realization in this book also, because that is the highest form of see, I'm not writing as a critic of modernity, but as a physician, seeker, and witness. So I've been seeing this. A lot of people having a lot of problems because of many chronic diseases we are not able to overcome, even though we are scientifically very advanced and know a lot of things. See, I have seen in my own life how creature comforts, they kind of soothe momentarily. Because they feel good a little, but yet leave deeper hunger unsatisfied, hunger for wellness. I have also seen how aligning with the nature through the yogi's life and studying their life and also, what they did was mindful eating, conscious movement, deep rest, and inner stillness. People may be eating okay because they have money, they are exercising, they can go to a club or a place, a gym or yoga studio, and they can move. And they can also develop a cultivation of deep rest, physical rest. But many are with inner restlessness. That inner stillness, which is really important, that is also not at rest. Okay, so all these things like a mindful eating, conscious movement, deep rest, and inner stillness, they restore vitality and unveil the joy of simply being alive. Human beings have this intelligence to remember and also to imagine, to project into the future, but at the same time, they can turn inward and find that intelligence that is kind of living in the present. Okay, so these are all privileges of human being, but we are not allowing them to really help us in the long term. Okay, so this book is about that. Anyway, let me go back to how it started this, because I'm a physician, practiced more of 40 years or so internal medicine in the United States, and I've seen many illnesses over those 4 decades, right? Obviously, where our clinic is established to help people in suffering. And as I began as a physician, I was trained to treat the illnesses, which is my duty. I have to do it. But I was not happy just to do the symptoms, just to patchwork. I wanted to go deeper into my patient's illnesses and see anything that they could have done that would have prevented this suffering. Obviously, we're talking about so much of heart disease, so much of cancer, so much of chronic disease that is there. And infections immediately happen, trauma immediately happen. Those are very good. We are managed very well. Also, but even the infections, so we are failing because we are breeding superbugs. But trauma, surgery, plastic surgery, so many things we have excelled in the modern medicine. They are pretty good for the acute care medicine. So if I'm really sick now, I will go to the hospital. I have no problem with that. But can I do something in my lifestyle that is going to prevent me to have this illness to begin with? That was possible from the systems of ancient, if you adopt them, body-mind systems like yoga, Ayurveda, Tai Chi, any number of things, Japanese medicine, Chinese medicine, Egyptian, all those ancient systems, they were living close to the nature. That is how the whole thing has evolved. So when I'm talking to my son, I said, remember only one thing, one word, nature, natural. Be natural in whatever you do. Okay, so the wellness is very closely connected with being in synchrony with nature. That is the aim of this talk, just to establish that, Um, hopefully, you all have your own conclusions, your own ideas about this, and maybe you are doing growing vegetables and fruits. Maybe you are walking in the sun. Maybe you are getting up early in the morning before sunrise and then going to bed at the sunset. If you have those habits, you will appreciate what I'm talking about. But many modern societies that I grew up in also, that's the same. We kind of um, really given these methods that draws away from the nature. Okay, for example, I was in India when I was growing up and doing my medical degree. It was hot, tropical country, and our state, Andhra Pradesh, Guntur, was very hot. Most intolerable was the wind. The wind that really. Let me. Somebody send me a message here. Okay. Pedro sent me a message. Okay, that's good. I value myself in the little things. That's very good. Okay. So the hot winds, we call them Vadagali in our language, and they were unbearable. And we had a bike. I had a bike to go to the college and come back on that, right? And there were bridges, crossover bridges. We had to go up and then come down. Going up against the wind was real suffering, very hot winds, right? So we were not muggy or sweaty and all that, but we had those winds that were really, really. And I came from that hot, windy city of Guntur to Chicago when I came here in 1981 to the windy city of the winter. That's very, very cold winds, right? So it was like a significant shift for me. But either way, if I was in air-conditioned rooms in India, that was very difficult to tolerate the winds when we came out. The hospital, some places were air conditioned, like my chief's room, but not the patients. Nothing, no air conditioned there. But they adapted okay because they were acclimatizing with the weather when they are exposing themselves to the natural things, whatever happening. So we were able to take that extreme heat, 117. Okay, as long as we were coming out and exposing ourselves to that in a safe way. Maybe under the tree you can stay for a while, things like that. Okay, so nature has a profound impact on me right from the beginning. When I first joined into my high school, that was a very brand new school that they started, and then they started in the middle of the fields. Say there were no windows or no doors initially, but then they put on them. But even if you open the windows, they are very, very open windows, right? And then we welcomed a beautiful breeze from the fields. So I grew up in this high school that is in the middle of the fields. And when we wanted to have lunch, we used to go to a tree and sit under that. And then, even though we had a dining hall, which was not favored by us, because we enjoyed the bliss of sitting under the tree with all that. So some of our students, we carried our food, and then we went there, sat down and ate. And then after I finished my high school, I was in the pre-medical in another college, which was also started early, and then just younger, 2 years younger, something. And there we had rose gardens surrounding our college, right? And then we used to go and sit in those rose gardens and eat our lunch. Okay, so it was like a really staying in the middle of the nature and growing up. And it so happened when I came to United States, initially I was in Chicago, New York, and all that. But when I established my own practice in 1997, I bought a land, and then Iowa is full of corn and beans. The land I bought is a bean field. Then we cut down the beans and then put our clinic on that. But then I was surrounded by the cornfields and bean fields. So even now, my house is surrounded by the cornfields. I'm in Iowa, right? But if I open the front door, everything is urban. But if I go to the back door, it is all nature. Okay, so I always love to be in the middle of the nature, and a lot of people don't know about it because I enjoyed it myself. I enjoyed the greenery, I enjoyed the rivers, I enjoyed the sea, and all that. Right. But when I lived in India, sea was not too far. There was a town called Chirala. We went there just by bicycling and then enjoyed the seashore. So we're not on the seashore, but we're close to maybe 100 miles close to the seashore. But we were on the bank of a river right now, Mississippi. That is where my town is here in Iowa. So living with the nature means having a association with it. How many times people pay attention to where they are, what is happening with the nature, am I connected with the nature? You get up in the morning, do you go to the window and open it and see what's happening with the nature today? Don't compare it, don't judge it, just see. Is it snowing? That's what happens in Iowa sometimes. And then is it really sunny and beautiful, or is it windy? All that change is ever new. Just by being associated with the nature, connected with the nature, you can live in the present moment. Okay, I do that in the morning. I tell all my friends, all my students, all my associates, whoever comes to me about discussion on these matters or whatever, I do tell them, okay, be connected with that, connected with the nature. Then you will be able to really understand, okay, I am not alone. I'm connected with a vast stream of life, plants, grass, or animals, any number of things, right? So wellness and nature mean being natural in the pillars of wellness of vital nutrition, moving functionally, rest and sleep as nature invites us, and keeping the mind calm when not needed. So they are my suggestions for long-term joyous wellness. Wellness, not just absence of disease, but just having that spirit of wellness, energy of wellness, and well-being that you feel when you are really well in your body, mind, and spirit, right? That ancient systems really lived and found out and passed down the wisdom to us. Our failure is we are not really digging into that. Okay, be science oriented, fine. Adopt all the modern things, that's fine. But this is something free, being in touch with the nature and living like that. Okay, so I always talk about the four pillars of wellness. My four pillars of diet is vital nutrition. Vital nutrition. That is, really have the vitality in it, right? That's what we want to do. Vital nutrition that has no pollution, no kind of chemicals and fertilizers or that, as much as organic. That has real energy in it, and they become vital energy, which is we call in Sanskrit, sattva. That means you are really in the balance of your energies, right? So eating what the earth is offering in its natural state. Remember, offering in its natural state, unprocessed, colorful, alive, that becomes not just food, but a communion with the soil, earth, sun, and rain. If you have these three and then you grow crops, you will have vital energy there, and then you could. That is adulterated by using too much of chemicals and all that. So leave the earth alone, it will revitalize itself. Don't till too much. That's what we're finding. The topsoil is losing a lot of vitality, right? And then after the nutrition, second pillar is how do you move? Moving functionally. See, movement as nature intended are walking, stretching, bending, lifting, all these things. Not only they strengthen our body, but reconnects us with the joy of simply being embodied. Just because we have a body, we are moving it, it regenerates energy. Okay. And the third most important thing in modern life is how do you rest and sleep? When your body tells you, I need rest, rest. When your body tells you, I need to sleep, sleep, So that is being eroded by the modern comforts and modern habits quite a bit. So if you align our rest with the circadian song of day and night, that is the rhythm to all our rhythm, circadian rhythm. In scientific terms, we know that. Day and night allows the body's inner clock to repair. So when you rest, when your body tells you rest, it wants to take time to restore itself, both mind and body. Okay, so that is the rejuvenation that happens during the good sleep, and it whispers the poetry of life in silence. When you deep breathe, silence, that is what happens. But if you have chattering mind and you're thinking all day, you may be continuing the same thing during the night when you have disturbed, restless sleep. That's not good. Okay. I kind of looked at it as a physician because I was working at night time, right? I didn't like the night calls to begin with, but then I was disturbed so many times because we are on the call, right? And we are working all day. And obviously, we were going to sleep and they're waking us because the patient needs our attention. That's fine. But then when we wake up, we could not fall back to sleep. And then that was more disturbing. Then I understood what to do, some of the pranayama, some of the relaxations like a shavasana, dead man's pose. These two things really helped me. Now, even if I'm disturbed, I can get up and attend to the call and go back. But then I have a very quality sleep for 2 to 3 hours. Okay. Then what happens? This restoration of my body and the mind happens. So in the morning when I wake up after that kind of sleep is very, very rejuvenating for me, and I can feel the energy. If you feel really energetic after you have slept for 3 or 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever, if you get up and feel completely refreshed and ready to take on the day, then you have a good sleep. Okay, we will come to that later. And the fourth pillar is what are we doing with our mind? Okay, just as a lake reflects the sky only when it is still. If the lake is agitated because you are throwing so many bubbles in it, you cannot see the sky clearly. But when the lake is completely silent, right? No waves on top of it, then it reflects the sky. Like that, a quiet mind free from unnecessary chatter reflects the peace of being. Okay? If you are in your real inner self of being, then your mind is really reflecting that. But the mind cannot reflect if it has so many ways. So it has to be calm surface. That is the yoga chitta vritti nirodha. All the stilling of the modulation of the mind, the thought patterns, the happy or unhappy, whatever, sad or joy, whatever, or remembrances or projections of the mind, they are all stilled. Not by force, but by understanding how the whole thing works. Then you are in real yoga because Dada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. Then, when the mind is still, your inner self presents itself. And being in that and sleeping on the being, you get a very quality sleep and also restful mind that is really gives you a lot of energy because you're not wasting them on different thoughts, right? So those four things, this framework, rooted simplicity, it becomes not just a lifestyle, but a pathway to long-term joyous wellness. What do I say all the time? Be well, be well for a long time. Like I am 70, I don't take any medications because I'm following these lifestyles, right? This is not like an egotistical statement. It's a fact I'm stating you. I just want to do what I'm saying to you because I'm doing it. I have a moral right to tell you you can also do this. That's all. Because it's a wellness measure. So this framework of four pillars of wellness in synchrony with the nature, that is the framework. That is rooted in simplicity. It's not complicated, but you have to unwind all your complexities that we created in the name of culture, civilization, or knowledge, whatever, science and all that, right? So this is rooted in simplicity, then it becomes not just a lifestyle, but a pathway to long-term joyous wellness. That is our proactive wellness. We always talk about how can you do proactive about your wellness? How can you be joyful because you are in wellness? How can you be wellness for long time? Be well for long time, but not just existing, but in joyous wellness. Okay, so what it does is it does honor the what sages and modern science both affirm. When we live as nature invites us, wellness is not a goal, it is our natural state. Okay, so this is a manifesto for the my movement of proactive wellness and the four pillars of natural living. So I wanted to expand this and make it a lyrical framework that you could use in your regular life. Okay, so anybody has any questions or any comments, you can always come up and tell me. I'll be happy to listen to you or really relate to your experience of this perspective. Okay, so you are welcome to join me at any time. I'm open on the Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn, and also on WhatsApp with my family in India, my sister, and also I'm on the Mumbai. There are 70 people out there. Okay, so that's the framework I want to present, and then uh, let's go to each one simply. Okay, the four pillars: vital nutrition. So eat as nature intended. It does protect seasonal good foods for us. Okay, um, for example, in the summer you consume coconut water or any water preserved in the plants or fruits. Um, that is very good for you because it is balanced with minerals and all the vitamins and all. So eat as nature intended, wholesome foods. Maybe you can grow them yourself organically and use all colors that the nature produces. That's one simple thing. When you go to the grocery shop, just take multiple colors of vegetables and fruits, green leafy vegetables, or colorful vegetables, all those things, the carrots, red, and then different things, right? And also eat them as quickly as possible after you pluck it from the trees. 45 minutes from the plucking of the tree is good. So I like to go to the farmer's market and pick up organically grown food that was just plucked in the morning and they brought it to the market. So that's a very good one. Or if you have a home garden, just pluck them and cook them within 45 minutes. Don't store them. Don't use all these foods coming from different countries because they're traveling. They are preserved in so many preservatives, the canned food. I don't ever buy the canned food because I encourage people to grow their own vegetables and then eat them or get them in organic market, right? And then food is not just a fuel. Food is not just a fuel. It is Earth's love offering. Mother Earth is giving you food to eat and survive and then enjoy your life. That's a love offering. So don't adulterate it. Don't um, make it just because convenience kind of not good for you. But people are doing this all the time when they're consuming processed food. As a scientific person, as a physician, I know processed food is cause for many chronic diseases, diabetes, leading to heart disease and the stroke and all that, hypertension, because of the high quantity of what kind of things you want, you can take it. And then arthritis, lack of movement, and also doing some food that is inflammatory to your body. Okay, so I can go on several things. The basic thing is it is concluded by the scientific community that many of the chronic diseases origin can be to the processed food. So consume food directly from the earth, from the plants, from the trees, without really adulterating it, polluting it. If your water is good, if your sun is really exposed in the sense that we don't have so much of fog and all that, then you have the rainwater coming down, and that will be very good. But then we have adulterated everything. Our sun is too hot, and our earth is getting too hot, and thereby we disturbed our rains and rivers and everything. Thereby, there's a drought or there's a flood, and there's not the balance between because our own human behavior. Still, we have a chance to change that in our own life, and slowly those contributions. Suppose you plant a couple of trees. Suppose you have a small garden, a herbal garden, or something like that, and then you are getting fresh vegetables from your own garden. You are contributing to the earth's well-being. Not only your well-being, your mother, the mother's love offering of the fruits and vegetables, we are adulterating it by not paying attention to it. Okay, so that's how I look at it. And now, second pillar, if you come to the functional movement, see how the water flows. When the water flows, is the river continuously flowing? It is clean. It kind of wipes off the dirt and then clean. But when it's stagnated, that is when it grows all sorts of algae, all sorts of things that may be okay for that balance, but not good for us. Okay, so your body is like that, made up of 70% of the water, right? So you want to keep that water flowing. How? Walk, stretch, bend, and lift. Do your chores yourself. Bend and pick up stuff from the floor as much as you can. And also stretch in between. If you are sitting down, get up and walk every half an hour or so. That simple thing. This I call functional fitness. I promote this like anything. If you are in the hospital, for example, don't come nearest to the building with a car unless the elements are bad, ice, or snow, or rain and all that. If you have a good summer day, park it away from the building and walk. Everybody knows this, but how many people are actively, consciously doing? That's what it is. And then once you come into the building, don't make you comfortable taking the elevator, unless you have a condition and something like that. Take the stairs as much as possible. And don't sit at the desk for too long, like 4 hours, 6 hours. Sit for 45 minutes, get up and walk a little bit. So one of the things I try to help with my friends who are asking me about help with the wellness, the second pillar is the movement, right? Functional movement. So I kind of ask them probing questions about where they work, how they work, what do they do in the morning, from the time they went there to do they get up and move? Do they go and do some stuff? Do they lift some minor weights like big folders and all that? All those things I ask them. From that, I come to know how sedentary they are and how much movement can be introduced in their own routine. So lots of people don't have the money to go get a gym membership or yoga studio or anything like that. A lot of people don't have the time because they're overwhelmingly working. So those people are really given this prescription of Okay, don't take the car if you can go by bicycle. Or if you can go by foot to the work or to the shops or wherever, incorporate the walking, which is the natural thing, as much as possible. And you can see the people who are walking before and they are lost that opportunity and they are sitting at home because that is they think it's comfortable, but it's eroding into their balance. Yogis, what did they do? If you examine their lifestyle, their average lifespan is 125 years. That is true. Even now, I know one yogi, Sadanandagiri, he is 110, I think now. 109 last year, this is 110 maybe. He's still there and he's going on pretty strong. And he indicated a lot of longevity things of yogis, right? It's practically, he is doing it. So what they did, first thing is they spent a lot of time deep breathing. Second thing is they sipped water with a kamandalam. They used to carry a little bit of water with them and they're walking. They're walking, walking, walking. Wherever they have to go, thousands of miles also, they were walking. So they didn't use any vehicle as such, any animal. I'm talking about the yogis who really followed the yogic principles and then lived long. Okay, few people maybe, but they were trying to teach us how you can be walking, how you can be sipping some water, and how can you be deep breathing quite a lot. That is under your control. And only thing is, we forget about that. Okay, we may deep breathe in the morning, but then you forget all day, and then you may deep breathe in the evening. Even if you are doing in the morning, in the evening, that's fine. But what about during the day? So I tell people, take 1 minute break every 1 hour. And what do you do with this 1 minute break? Sit down, keep your spine straight, and do the deep breathing in and out, and hold it in between. That's simple Bastrika. Okay, if you do it 8 or 10 times, what is first of all happening is you will stop this constant thinking going. So that will help you to not to have the brain fog that we have in the modern working conditions. And you're also deep breathing, opening up your lungs all the way down, where you can recruit more alveolar surface that has the medium where oxygen, carbon dioxide come and go. Oxygen is generated by really taking all the air and then using that and then eliminating the carbon dioxide, which is the waste product of our metabolism, right? So you will be metabolically more healthy, oxygenated, less carbon, hypocarbia, we call it. There's the carbon dioxide goes out. Anyway, these three things, walking all the time, sipping water, throughout the day, and deep breathing as much time as possible. That means if you are aware and alert, like I always talk about, be in awareness, then you are aware whether you are deep breathing or not, right? Then every 1 hour, stop it and get back to the present. What do I say in the morning routine? Cultivate the habit of deep breathing, thereby activating your parasympathetic system, thereby being less reactive. And also deep breathing makes your oxygenation better, so you don't have the stress at the metabolic level, and then you will be more oxygenated, and that's why you have more energy, right? And also what happens with the deep breathing, your chattering mind stops, calm the mind. So all this 1 minute breathing throughout the day, every minute 1 hour, every 1 hour 1 minute, altogether less than 10 minutes. I don't think anyone remembers like that. Even if you do 5 times, 6 times, that's a very good thing for you. There's another thing too. You have a set number of breaths in your life. And if you're reading rapid breathing, your lifespan is going to be limited. But if you extend that, longevity is better. That's also another theory that is there in yoga science. So, anybody, any comments? You can always come and tell me about what you think about all this. Can you do these things practically, or you are completely lost in your thinking, in your mind? And most of the thoughts are come and go anyway. Why are you holding that as your reality? No, in the sky of the reality of awareness, you are having the crowds of thoughts. Don't identify with them, use them. And that's the problem with the intellectual world. They're stuck in that intellect. Intellect is supposed to be your excellent servant, not your master. So get out of it. Lot of this brain fog, lot of this information overload, lot of this chattering mind and expenditure of all the energy or getting stressed, getting burnout is because of this. Okay. So anyway, the functional movement is something that you want to remember. You want to walk, you want to do stuff physically. And I don't mind you using technology for lots of things, but at the functional physical level, we need to allow the river within us flowing country. 70% of ourselves is very good. Pedro says that he's walking to the work on the noon wife. Excellent, Pedro. That's a very good thing. I know people who are walking to their work, even though it's 8 miles. And that's a very good thing. But the elements have to permit. We have to. But we have modern. Where so I'm going to buy this treadmill that you can place it under the desk here, and then as I'm doing this conferences, I can walk on the treadmill. I have my friends who are doing that now. So once I get that, I will be doing that extra. Okay, it's not like a rapid pace, a small pace. Instead of standing still, which promotes venous congestion in the legs and also not that much return going to the heart. So you're not aerobically fit when you're stationary and standing there. But if you're doing some kind of pumping heels and toes, or you're raising the heel to touch the buttock in between, and basically you are standing while you are doing the webinars, that's a very good one. So I got up in the morning and then I do my own exercises. One of the best things that you could do is sun salutations. That is the best aerobic activity I would recommend. Not one or two. People do 108 in the morning. Some people do 1,000. So it's a wonderful thing, but don't exert yourself so much. Do allow what you can do. If you can do one time, that's fine. But I would recommend at least 8 to 10 times in the morning. That will speed up your aerobic metabolism like anything. Okay, so start maybe you Surya Namaskars in the morning and do a couple of breathing exercises, and you are set for the day. And when you are at the work, be functional. Don't sit. Don't sit and think a lot. That's the bad thing we are doing. What did I say all the time? Move your body and keep your mind still when it's not needed. Right? If you can understand and learn that, you are much better off. That's it. Okay? Now, the third pillar of wellness. How we are going to synchronize ourselves to the nature about rest and sleep is very important. Sleep with the rhythm of sun and the moon. Thereby, the calendars that the ancient used is much more valuable because they had like a 28-month cycles, and they are more close to the 14 days of lunar cycles. So they are much more valuable. There's a whole lot of different subject, But for our purposes, are you sleeping at the sunset, and are you getting up before sunset? Just balance your thing like that, and then you will find a lot of energy coming back to you. See, rest is the body's way of singing itself whole again. You have rested enough, it will sing the song of I am whole again. I have energy. I have joyous movement that I can go and do whatever I want to do. So your test of good sleep or rest is how do you feel, how energetic you feel at the end of the rest. And otherwise, most of the people rest sitting down and putting on the TV and then keeping their mind occupied with the TV. That's exactly not natural. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Remember, ancient times, no TV, no entertainments outside, but then they enjoyed the beauty of the nature. Are you in touch with the beauty of nature? How many sunrises have you seen? How many sunsets have you seen? Do you notice when you are driving what's going on around you in nature? I am like that. The moment I get into the car, I'm in touch with what's going on with the atmosphere, what is the light there, rain there, snow there. Apart from that, what is the beauty I'm seeing? Is it a white snow or sparkling ice on the trees, which we see in the winter? Or is it like a bright sunshine or dull sunshine or greenery around? I'm in a river city, right? We have enjoyed the seasons. How are the leaves? Green or colorful and all. Don't say to yourself and see it initially, but are you automatically connected with the mother nature? Am I in the lap of my mother? Am I enjoying that, you know, peace and solace and joy of being in the lap of my mother? Because I'm the child of the earth. If you have that sensation, it's not crazy. It's really a very healthy habit of being in touch with where you came from. You came from the elements of the earth. That was given a lot of value in the ancient sciences. So you want to understand the five elements where the life has come and how we related to each element. The heat of the sun, the really good feeling of the rainwater, the smell of the soil as I walk on that. Do you ever walk on the earth, or do you walk on the pavement, or do you walk on the grass? Do you walk on the, no, but never in touch with the real earth. Gardeners do have that luxury, right? That is so. So this is all important to be aware of how you are resting your mind when it's not needed, how you are unwinding yourself when you are about to go to sleep. Do you spend a couple of hours to unwind? Probably that you say, oh, that is so unproductive. What is the productivity of you making you? Anxiety, restlessness, and also not really knowing what's going on with you, right? So unwind your body. Give every muscle rest. Progressive muscle relaxation combined with the breath, that is the Shavasana, dead man's pose. Okay? Where your mind is quiet and your body is relaxed slowly, each muscle group upon instruction. Do you do that at the end of your workout? If you cultivate that, you will benefit quite well. Okay? So usually intense yoga practice that is done, we end up with the Shavasana. Okay? Where progressively all the muscles are relaxed. This is now kind of used in a clinical setting also. Okay, the body scanning from head to toe, sitting down. That's a little modified. It's better to lay down on the floor with your heels, with your elbows and back of the wrist, and also the head, back head, everything touching the floor, right? And then relax toes, and relax the ankles, relax the calf muscles, relax the knees, relax the thighs. Like that, you go from toe to the head. All major muscle groups are tensed and released. And that relaxation should be coincide with the deep exhalation. Take the deep breath in. But when you really breathe it out, that's when you relax. It's a simple thing I said here. You can pick it up from that and practice that dead man's pose. Okay. Then there is something called sleeping. Your body is exhausted, but your mind is running because you made it run like that. Okay, for all day you made it run like that. You never try to stop it. You never try to reflect on it. You never to be the observer of their thoughts. How many people are doing this? How many times do you do observe your thoughts as though they are happening to you, which is reality? Really, they are happening to you. You are not happening to them. Who is that you? That conscious being, that witness consciousness. Be that, and don't be indulged in the thinking, or don't suppress thinking. Let the thinking come like clouds in the sky and then watch them pass. If you cultivate that, you can use thought consciously, deliberately, and end the thoughts also deliberately. That's what I do. I do teach that in the morning routine. What do I say? This morning routine in an hour of awareness. That means what? You are in awareness, and then you indulge in thought, and thoughts are coming all over you think, and then you don't observe them, you get involved in them, and that is your lost. Instead, be the witness of those thoughts and be that. Practice that. If the thoughts come, then come back to your awareness. That is the awareness thing by breathing, right? So this is what I teach in the morning routine. An hour of awareness, I call it, because you want to maintain awareness as long as possible during the hour and practice coming back from thoughts, indulgence or suppression to awareness in which thoughts are happening. Observing the thoughts as objects is important for that reason. Okay, what I do, my mind is quiet, and then I rest in my being. That's an advanced practice, I grant it. But when you are attention to everything that you are doing, at the end of the sleep also, you will be attending to even the emptiness that you are feeling. So once you rest in that being, in that attentive awareness, then you get up, your energy is enormous. You have to experience that. Just because I'm stating doesn't mean anything. You got to try it and experience that. Don't give words to it. Don't give explanation. Just experience that. If you don't experience that, it has no value. I can say so many things. So what? You have to try it and then do that. So when you rest, relax the physical body first, unwind for an hour. That's a lot in this time, because you think, oh, I'm wasting so much time. You're not wasting your time. You are actually making yourself more focused, more alert at what you're doing. So whatever you do, the quality of work will be very high. If you learn how to really be in awareness, not in thought. All these intellectuals stuck in the thought, that is their misery. You can be great intellect, but at the same time enjoy this uh, quietness. That is what the ancient people showed me. Shankaracharya, for example, he is a tremendous intellect, but he said, I'm not this intellect. There's a famous Nirvana Shatakam. In that he says, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not these feelings, I'm not this uh, even the awareness, but I'm beyond that. That essence I am. I'm aware of that. Thereby, I'm in awareness, not in the functionality of the intellect, but he wrote some intellectual things par excellence of the any five Western intellectuals you take, he is more than those five together. Okay, so you have to know his works, then only you'll understand. Okay, unfortunately, in India, a lot of people don't know the depth of him. Many people who are interested, they know it, but a lot of people are not interested in the depth of it. So what it is intellect is our tool. Don't be a slave to the tool and then argue like you know everything. You don't know nothing. You are repeating somebody else said something. Do you know anything by yourself? Do you understand anything by yourself? When you see that, then you will come down and say, okay, I know very little. Let me learn. Because that humbleness, that simplicity of agreeing for our own non-knowing, our own ignorance, we assert like we know everything. What did Socrates say? All I know is that I don't know. And from that, everything, if you take the ancient Indians also, they said, I don't know, then I will approach. I don't know to accept anything that anybody else said, but my mind, I don't know. Let me explore it. That's called jignasa, curiosity, intense curiosity to know things. If you already said, I know, I am the Western, I am the American, I am the exceptional, I know everything, you don't know nothing. You will not know anything. You will just roll in somebody else's print, somebody else's writings and all that. By yourself, are you be able to be still, serene, silent, and from that silent, the intelligence connects with the universal consciousness, and all the knowledge is already there, flows through you as a conduit. Okay, I'm going differently, but basically, third thing, rest and sleep demands you unwind the body completely, and then you unwind the mind. Think of all the reactions, all the things that you went through the day. Put them aside, happy or unhappy. Go to the state of emptiness, silence, and sleep on that. That silence is your inner being, inner essence, inner consciousness, conscious being, Atman, energy, or whatever you call it. Okay? And then once you rest in that attentive awareness, then you get up very refreshed. The same thing about the calming the mind. So this is how you want to be. A natural human being is not constantly thinking. That concept, we forgot about it. We are basically simple, calm people, and then we can have thoughts about improvising our life and all that. But then we become too much thinking all the time, which is not healthy. We can see the neurosis. Can see the how many people can put the phone aside for an hour and then stay there and say, okay, I'm going to do this. How many people are doing that? Okay, so always understand what is the intellect, what is the intuition. Intellect is the thought process excelling, but also doesn't know how to stop itself. But the intuition is aware of the intellect, the thought process, and also aware of the calmness or quietness or emptiness or really complete silence of that. If you are intuitively aware of your silence one time, you will get more of it. So all these things are natural. Okay, I'm going to put some things in the say about the other part of it. What is happening with these modern comforts? How are they making us really? See, they promise ease. Like you have a remote control. Before, we used to get up and go to the TV and stop it. Then after the remote control came, people became more sedentary, right? And that is what is happening. So modern comforts, they promise ease, granted, but they often leave us fragile, weak. Body weakens with inactivity. Mind scatters with overstimulation. And thus your spirit dulls, avoiding discomfort. Okay? But true wellness is not in comforts, but in consciousness. Being aware and moving the body and keeping the mind silent. Okay? I explored this much more in depth with my book, and then that is something I kind of wrote an article on LinkedIn. I'm going to put it in the LinkedIn today, introducing my book. Probably you can go there and read that LinkedIn article prior to getting the book and reading that if you are interested. Okay, so that's about the creature comforts, creature comforts that we think that are very important to us, that is improving our life, but that is eroding our wellness. That's my point. It is eroding our wellness. So examine them, see them, how much those creature comforts are really in your life. If you can see that, then you will be much better off with that. Okay. Doing all that, there's another aspect that I learned from the ancient wisdom is about what is the highest state of wellness. How many people are really knowing that wellness? This is about realizing body is my tool and mind is also my tool. Don't let them dominate you. They are supposed to be your slaves, right? And then if they are my slaves, who am I really? That is realizing who you really are beyond your body, beyond your mind, where you own the mind and body as your tools, but you are the intuitive awareness that is aware of the body, that's aware of the mind. Once you are stationed in that, then suffering of the body is suffering of the body and you can handle it better. Suffering of the mind is the suffering of the mind and you can handle better. This is called self-realization. That has a huge effect on your psychosomatic illness and also all your mental illness. Okay, so you are not what is happening to you, you are not what your tools are doing with it, but you are that witness conscious being that is witnessing everything that's going on with the body and mind. Then you are in the highest wellness. If you cannot understand that, then there is a way to go to first of all, exert your body, nourish it properly with proper food, water, and then air. And then keep your mind quiet and then feel that silent self within you. Let that operate in your life. That is what the self-realized people do. That's why they live longer in a much greater, better metabolic health and mental calmness. They are peaceful. They're not neurotic like us. Constantly thinking, constantly saying, oh, I am an intellectual, I am this, that, I can tell you all these things. This all really comes from that. I think, therefore I am. No, you think that's a faculty of yours. Thinking happening in your awareness. If you live like that, being aware and then using the mind for whatever you purpose it and then ending the thought, that is normal. Everything else is neurotic. So all the people are getting neurotic because they are introduced only to this dimension, not to the dimension of the human intelligence that is capable of not only remember, not to project, but also understanding these two are happening in my awareness and using the past for the lessons, future for the plan, but never going and living there because awareness is here and now in the present moment. That's where it comes, present moment awareness. I talk about this all the time, as you guys know. So that's a different aspect I discussed in the book, self-realization, highest wellness. And I also talked about what are these creature comforts that is making us fragile, weak. Number of things were attended there. So you can also ask me any questions on that. Okay. This is supposed to be like an hour and a half. So I think we are already 1 hour and 10 minutes, close to 10 minutes. So I'll spend the rest of the 20 minutes. If you have any questions, then I can address to them. So somebody asked about the quality of sleep. How do you cultivate this quality? Okay, it starts from the beginning, from the morning. Okay, suppose you got up after a night's sleep and then you got up in the morning and then you continuously bothered by so many dreams, so many thoughts, and then you really didn't have a good night's sleep and you wake up kind of not having energy, kind of agitated, kind of irritable, and all that, sit down and take 10 deep breaths. That's how you start the day. Take 10 deep breaths and be aware of the air. Along with that, the life force itself is coming into you. Be reverent to the life force. Be respectful. And then that life force give you more energy, right? And then you get yourself to the present moment because you are aware of the air touching your nose and going inward and air going out. Do you do that ever? Are you ever aware of the touch of the air on the sun? That means everything else has to be quiet, right? But if you deliberately, consciously attempt it, that will bring you to the present moment. Cultivate that during the morning routine. That's what I tell them. Okay. 4 principles of body stretching, deep breathing, keeping the mind in the present, and observing the thoughts. Right? These 4 things we do physically in the morning routine, right? So thereby you bring your awareness to the present moment with each breath. After that, what it is, then you say, I am not just these thoughts that are happening, I'm going to observe them, but I am this inner essence. You are coming to that directly in that practice, okay? And you're doing something else. If the thoughts come and you are unaware of them, you're unconscious about it, the thoughts weave on itself. One thought leads to the next thought to the next thought. And then you are breeding a network of thoughts. So start being aware of that right from the beginning. This is called Chit Jada Granthi in Sanskrit. Granthi means knot. There is a knot between your inert body, Jada. Chit is the inner consciousness. Body doesn't say I am. Inner consciousness doesn't say I am. Only your thoughts that are coming up either from the memory or from the stimuli you are getting, whatever. And those thoughts, they say I am. And then they go from one to the other. Okay? So it's a question of understanding that and then going there. Okay? So understand that and then you will be able to do that much better. Okay? So once you get up, you had this 10 breaths that you want, and then those 10 breaths, yeah. Okay. So after you have those 10 breaths, after you are, whatever you are doing, you are paying attention to it. So awareness in the morning of you are awake, you are alert, you are aware to the movement. And then that cultivation of attention to every movement continued through the day. So awareness in the morning, attention to every action during the day, and at the end of the day, vacate your mind of anything, happy or unhappy thoughts, and then slip into the sleep. If you can do this AAV, awareness, attention, vacation, you will have a very quality sleep at night, and then you wake up in the morning and you are completely refreshed. That is the evidence that you kept your mind also silent during the sleep also. But this is something you have created, this constant thinking. You have created this lack of awareness. Come back to the natural thing. Okay? Then you will be able to sleep much better. Especially in this information age, it's very important. Okay? I kind of learned that. I kind of sleep like that. I'm getting benefited by it. Okay? I never took any sleeping pill. Don't need. Okay? If you are having an organic sleep problem and you have some dementia, something else maybe, but many of my patients are hooked on those sleeping pills because they are using 10, 20 years before that when they came to me. Then I cannot withdraw that because they are dependent on that. But they also reduce the sleeping pill dose or the frequency because they were able to understand this lifestyle change that they incorporated in their daily routine. Try that. Okay. So any other questions? Of course, a lot of people want to know the vital nutrition that we talk about all the time, and basically naturally grown. That means sun and rainwater, and then cultivating the organic fertilizer, compost, and all that, and then grow them and eat them. That's the best way. If you cannot do it, go to the organic farm, and then get the vegetables and fruits from there. Okay. So I talked about this several times, and many of the coaches also talk about this all the time. If you want good nutritional information, plenty available. It's important how you are executing it in terms of synchronization with the nature. Remember, one word that you want to use for your wellness is being natural in all our lifestyle. I kind of divide it into 4 because that is easier to remember. Okay, 4 pillars of wellness. By this time, you must be knowing vital nutrition, functional activity, and restful sleep, and calm mind. Okay. So, Janet, come up and talk to me. What do you think about this nature stuff, and how do you employ that? Okay. I see Janet on the Zoom, but that's why I invited her. Um, I cannot invite many people like Janet because I know she is interested in this, and she always comes and participates.
How are you?
I'm good, Janet. How are you?
I'm okay.
What do you
I
think
slept.
about? Yeah, what do you think about this talk today?
Well, I think that it works. It works if you work it.
Yeah,
If you try this
Yeah.
and really put your heart in it,
Yeah.
you're going to get good results from it. I especially like to get out in nature, and
Yeah.
I was raised a country girl, and
Yeah.
I live out in the country, and I'm surrounded right now.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by soybeans
Yeah.
and wildlife.
You're in
And,
North Carolina,
my
right?
dogs.
You're in
What'd you say?
you are in North Carolina, right? Are you?
North Carolina, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so,
That's where I live.
yeah.
And I love to go out and sit on my back porch and commune with nature.
Yeah. See, that's a
That's-
wonderful thing. Yeah. That's free, available to you all the time. Only you have to be in sync with the changing seasons and all that. So,
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you a copy of this book, Janet, and then tell me how do you feel about that. Okay, it's a flip book. I'm going to send it to you. Okay.
Okay.
To your email.
Sounds good.
To your email. I'm not going to charge Janet because she is so much intricately involved with this. So I want to reward her. Okay. So see what she says about that book also. I have not released it, but I have a flip book I sent to my son. I will send the same copy to you, Janet. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Janet is somebody who is sincere about these things, So it doesn't matter how old you are, how established in your habits or all that. You can erode into that habit mechanism slowly if you really understand. It all comes from your understanding, from you inside, accepting that as the truth and applying that in your life. For that, you have to question whatever we are saying. You have to doubt it, and you have to go through the material, reflect on it, and see the validity of it. If you differ in something, you can always communicate with me. That's way our aim is to share this knowledge to everybody so that everybody's life is improved. Everybody lives in joyous long-term wellness. Right, Janet?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You're never. You can teach an old dog new tricks. I'm proof of that.
Yeah.
As I have learned to do the morning routine with you, and it helps me a lot. It helps me mentally. It helps me physically, and it helps me emotionally.
Yeah.
And when I do the morning routine, I just have a better day.
Yeah.
And I would invite anybody that's listening to to come to the morning routine. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And Dr. Rao takes you through yoga, but he doesn't just do the movements and flip and flop around. He explains what you're doing and what it's supposed to do for you, for your mind and your body.
Yeah.
And he's taught me so much. So I hope you guys will take to heart what he's had to say this morning, because it's real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our intention to see many people in the joyous wellness, because I'm tired of seeing people ill. I'm going to treat them still. I have compassion for their suffering, but I want people to take a intelligent view of how we are living, how we are subjecting ourselves to these illnesses unnecessarily. You say that's a thing you can't teach tricks to an old dog. We are not dogs. We have intelligence, right? So we can change them. Whatever. The only thing you have to be aware. I'm not sitting long time. That's good. But if you are sitting long time, be aware of it. Then break out of it by just getting up once in a while. That's all I'm saying. So use your human intelligence not to live in the past, not to live in the future, but here and now. What am I doing today? What am I doing now? This moment. If you are coming to that all the time, and you learn a lot about yourself, and then immediately you will change them. If you fail 10 times, so
That's
what?
the truth.
Yeah. You can fail so many times, but you can still start again. Right? Thank you, Janet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that is Janet. She is also above 60 somewhere, but then she is doing very well with our morning routine. She does I actually put on the Instagram just for her, because she will look me there in the Instagram. Other people join, but I'm for sure I've put it there, and many people don't want to do this stuff because they are so mired by the habits, and they're run by their habits. But the habits are acquired in this life. They can be changed. Only thing is you need to have the information, understanding, and the intention, and then you can change them. Okay? You don't have to live in a chronic illness suffering. You can at least reverse it or reduce it, or really not allow it to progress further suffering. Okay. For example, if you are sitting in the chair and you are not able to get up because you are used to the sitting, then you just get up and sit down. Just 2, 3, 4 times. Then you'll be able to walk 10 feet and come back 10 feet. Just do that. And then I do after the meal what is called Shat Pavali. Shat means 100. Pavali means feet. I walk back and forth. That's 10 feet forward, 10 feet backward, 20. That like that 5 times I do, that becomes 100 feet. You just walk in your own room, you can do that. Okay. Then that becomes very good. After the eating, you do that, your digestion is better. Don't go lie down on the bed after you eat. That's a bad thing you can do. You can sit or you can just walk like this. So sitting straight helps your digestion much better. But I don't advise you to sit. Rather, I would advise you to do this 100 feet walking, like a 10 feet forward, 10 feet back, 20. Like that 5 times you repeat, it becomes so simple. Okay, so incorporate behaviors like that. Remember the yogis walking all the time, taking a sips of water, doing the deep breathing. All that happens with people. When you do that, you will be fine. Okay. So, anybody else? I don't see my regulars.
Babu name kabotanga.
Okay. So, we're nearing our goal. Another 6 minutes, I'll be here. So, my book title is going to be The Hidden Lessons from the comforts, that is really, which is kind of important to understand creature comforts and then why they are causing harm to our health in the long run, and how to really understanding this. And there is so it's like it's a kind of problem in the long run. Okay, understand that, and then you will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to put this article, The Hidden Cost of Comfort, Returning to Nature for True Wellness. Okay, there is a ebook that was done, and also there is a article in the LinkedIn. I'm going to put it today afternoon, so you can read that. The Hidden Cost of Comfort, Returning to Nature for True Wellness. Okay, and hopefully you got something out of this. You can always communicate with me with a DM, and I'll be seeing you again. Okay, bye bye.